Questions rise over whether geopolitical pressure is forcing Washington into quiet policy concessions. The renewed waiver risks funneling fresh revenue to Russia, despite ongoing war sanctions. Mounting military and diplomatic pressure appears to be reshaping Washington's strategic calculus. Washington softens restrictions on Russian oil even as it keeps up its tough rhetoric on Iran. The United States quietly renewed a sanctions waiver on Russian oil as global energy markets faced rising turbulence. The Trump administration extended the waiver, allowing countries to continue purchasing sanctioned Russian oil for a limited period. Reports said the U.S. Treasury published the renewed license on its website on April 16. The Treasury's Office of Foreign Assets Control issued General License 134B, making it valid through May 16. The move marked a reversal from earlier signals by Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, who had said no extension was planned.
Are you considering any more sanctions relief, Mr. Secretary, for countries that are suffering right now in order to get more oil to your allies?
We will not be renewing the general license on Russian oil, and we will not be renewing the general license on Iranian oil. Because again, that was oil that was on the water prior to March 11th. Right. So all that has been used.
The policy shift triggered confusion in Washington, raising questions about the administration's broader sanctions strategy. Critics described the move as a sharp reversal, warning it could weaken pressure on Moscow. The move came amid volatility in global energy markets, driven by rising tensions around the Strait of Hormuz. Oil prices fluctuated after Iran signaled the reopening of the key maritime route for commercial traffic. U.S. officials framed the waiver as a technical measure aimed at preventing sudden supply disruptions. However, analysts said the decision reflected deeper challenges in balancing sanctions policy with market stability. Experts warned that repeated reliance on such waivers could undermine the credibility of the sanctions regime. Some analysts suggested that selective relief may be an attempt to influence Moscow's behavior. Ukraine, however, cautioned that easing sanctions could prolong the war and boost Russian revenues. Iran shut down the Strait of Hormuz following escalating hostilities involving the United States and Israel in early February. The closure disrupted global energy markets, prompting Donald Trump to announce a temporary two-week halt in attacks. Later, Iran announced the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz following a 10-day ceasefire agreement in Lebanon. Moments after Abbas Araghchi's announcement, oil prices reportedly fell to around $90 per barrel as market pressure eased. Meanwhile, Iranian Foreign Ministry spokesperson Ismail Baghaei reiterated Tehran's 10-point proposal as the basis for any future agreement. Reports said this proposal had been forwarded to Trump ahead of his April 7 announcement, according to Press TV. On the other hand, Trump stated that negotiations with Iran should be concluded quickly, signaling urgency in talks. He also hinted at a possible ground operation aimed at securing Iran's enriched uranium as part of any potential deal. However, Iran firmly rejected Trump's claims, stressing that its enriched uranium program was sacred and not negotiable. New information has surfaced explaining how Iran compelled U.S. warships to withdraw from the Strait of Hormuz during a tense encounter. According to Press TV, naval units of Iran's elite forces reportedly locked more than 15 cruise missiles onto American vessels. The operation is said to have taken place during a direct maritime standoff between Iran and the United States on April 11. Further details of this naval engagement were disclosed in a Press TV report published on April 17. Reports indicate that a total of 16 cruise missiles were targeted at U.S. warships before they eventually pulled back. Among the vessels identified were the USS Michael Murphy and the USS Frank E. Peterson. These ships were reportedly attempting to pass through the Strait of Hormuz during the confrontation. Iranian forces are said to have warned that missile strikes would follow if the U.S. vessels did not change course.
Because I'm ready to open fire on them.
Press TV further claimed that American forces requested a short delay of around 15 minutes during the standoff. Iranian reports also suggested that the U.S. warships communicated with their command structures while facing the threat. The destroyers eventually withdrew after prolonged exchange that reportedly lasted close to an hour. Iranian accounts have suggested that the U.S. naval move may have been timed alongside diplomatic talks in Islamabad. Military-linked sources claimed that the American vessels were only minutes away from potential impact during the encounter. Iran has also alleged that the incident could have been part of a broader attempt to influence negotiations. According to the same reports, the attempted transit through the Strait of Hormuz carried a high risk of escalation.
Because I'm ready to open fire on them.
On April 12, Iranian state media dismissed the U.S. naval move near Hormuz as a failed propaganda stunt that backfired on Washington. Security sources quoted by Press TV claimed the operation was extremely high risk for the U.S., hinting that American ships were sailing into a trap. That same day, Iranian outlets released footage they say shows IRGC units issuing stark warnings to nearby U.S. warships. In the clip, aired by Press TV, Iranian voices can be heard ordering American vessels to change course and stay away. "This is the last warning. This is the last warning," Iranian personnel repeat over the radio, driving home the threat. The U.S. ship responded that it is transiting under international law and does not intend any provocation or hostile act. American voices even reference the temporary ceasefire, stressing that both sides are supposed to be de-escalating, not trading threats. Despite that, Iranian forces escalate their tone, ordering the warship to alter course immediately and leave the area. "If you don't obey my order, you will be targeted." Out, an IRGC controller radios, in what sounds like a direct threat to open fire. According to Iranian reports, the destroyers USS Michael Murphy and USS Frank E. Peterson Jr., both Arleigh Burke class, attempted to enter the Strait of Hormuz on April 11th. Press TV claims that Iranian cruise missile batteries locked onto the ships while attack drones circled overhead. The report dramatically alleges the destroyers were only a few minutes away from complete destruction if they had pushed further. Iranian forces supposedly issued a 30-minute ultimatum at the mouth of the Gulf: turn back or be hit. Press TV insists the U.S. ships immediately retreated once their crews realized cruise missile radars had locked on. Support helicopters reportedly flew overhead as IRGC units ordered all other vessels to stay at least 10 miles clear of the showdown zone. The Iranian account says later radio traffic shows U.S. crews fully complying with IRGC demands and pulling away.